Gentlemen, thank you so much. Let's get ready for the first map. Yes, Mirage is the choice of Winterfox, starting off on T side, composed of Desi, Lex, Flowstick, XP3, and Anger, versus Relics, Uber, Mainline, Kusa, and Lucky of Enemy GG on the CT side. We mentioned it on the desk. They're struggling a bit on the CT side for Winterfox, but as they started on T side, they racked up a lot of rounds. I think it was 9 in a row yesterday for them to win that first map against Obey. Let's see if they could do it right now into Pistol Blue.
Yeah, this could actually prove to be a bit of an advantage for them. And they're going to start off going right up the T-steps into the A-bomb site now. Pretty much everybody coming in with them. No rotation yet from the two enemy players still sitting on the B-bomb site, but no kills coming out yet either. 4 of them are actually just going to rush down towards CT, trying to prevent Uber from running away, as we did see Relics being able to pick up a kill there. But so far, seeming to have good control is Winterfox right now, but it's still even down to a 3-on-2 now, as Lucky picking up another kill over here on a Desi. Lex getting a little bit low, but there's Kusta and Relics picking up the final 2. An Enemy, they're going to be able to close things out here on round number 1.
Huge retake play for Enemy GG, and I couldn't say it's not really well executed in that retake for Enemy GG. It's more Winterfox that are trying to push that fight, because they got some great smokes. They covered everything out from the stairs, the jungle, and the CT spawn. They pushed 4 guys through the spawn as well, so they caught 1 or 2 off guard for Enemy, but Lucky was playing long range with that USP from the market side and just picked them off 1 by 1. And that gave an easy retake for Enemy GG after that. So maybe they committed well to start things off, maybe a little bit too much, but nothing surprising for Winterfox, losing a round, getting a bomb plant, going for full deagles.
We saw them try to play this quite a bit yesterday. Unfortunately, we never really saw like a huge amount of success with this, so I'm not imagining this to go really, really well, but we'll wait and see on it, as it is going to be enough pressure, at least initially, to force the player inside of the window room to fall back a little bit closer towards connector. That's going to be Kusta playing in there. He's actually now watching out as that smoke, unfortunately, not perfect, so he's going to be able to connect 2 shots, taking down Flowstick, but a good trade coming in from XP3. And for the time being, Winterfox will hold control of the middle area of the map. Yeah,
at the beginning of this round, they spotted Anger at mid. Kusa spotted 1 in the apartment, spotted 2 now at mid connector, so they're just going to try to refocus on the CT side, and they're setting up for a stack at B with 2 guys. 1 guy playing towards ticket booth and 1 guy at window, so easy rotations for the one playing towards window. Uber will have to step up with this MP9, but if you're looking at the overhead view on how things are going so far with the bomb on the back of Lex, they're looking to execute towards this A site with Anger also trying to flank through window.
And XP3 is that scout too. We saw in yesterday's match he was actually doing some very, very impressive work with that, so keep an eye on him when he finally goes for the entry here on this site. He could be a very powerful tool if he can get himself into a good position, but very quiet so far on the battlefield. Now Anger, though, he's managed to actually work his way all the way inside of window room, but he's got to be very, very cautious in case Enemy try to investigate on a cat, and there we go. Mainline very easily handling him there as he comes through the crawl space. Now the rest of the players from Winterfox trying to work their way in, but not going very well at all. In fact, the only frag they managed to pick up here was Desi, and that is the only one they're going to be able to grab there, as Enemy do manage to come through with a fairly long second round, but still going pretty dominantly in their favor.
And they haven't lost much either. They're able to salvage that scout at the beginning that was in the hands of Kusa, so they're going to give it back to him. He has a great spawn as well to pick towards his middle side. But you'll see this full save coming through from Winterfox, so they could buy fully on the third with small upgraded pistols, 2 flashes now. Looks like he might be that flash above that B halls to try to get that site and try to get a bomb plant. That's the goal that they want right now.
It's going to be a straightforward push into that site more than likely here, and I believe the members of Enemy are going to be very well aware of this. Relics getting him a little bit more aggressive towards the A site there, but that's not going to be needed. It's just Mainline and Lucky holding the apartments angle. Lucky actually has to fall back a little bit there, but they still managed to burn one of the players of Winterfox alive. A lot more damage has gone onto these guys, and yep, unfortunately this round for the members of Winterfox is going to be a complete wipe. Not that we were expecting all that much, but can't even get themselves outside of the apartments really.
Yeah, you just had a good communication from Enemy side. The crossfire that they had inside the site to start things off, if they actually made it through whatever they threw at the beginning, that nade that they threw all the way back at upper B halls actually put Flowstick down to 12 HP, but you lob an incendiary grenade right at the window side of the upper B halls, preventing them from crossing over. So you already had 2 or 3 guys super lit trying to get into the site. Now at least they get the bonus money from that first plant and also the 3 rounds they lost in a row for Winterfox. You'll have enough now for AK-47s across the board, but that $800 would have helped a little bit more to get more flashes and more smokes, because Lex doesn't have anything right now.
Could have potentially given XP3 the off as well if he wanted to work for that. But
nice
good start here in this round from Flowstick. Mainline and Lucky both bow down to him, back down in the middle there. Kusta trying to hold it off for the trade, but he's going to get smoked off there, so they'll hold control again for this area of the map, but they haven't moved on it. And look at the position from Relics now, very aggressive inside the apartments. Lex crawling underneath it, but Relics not going to be tricked by that. He's able to take him down. trading it back and keeping things even into a 3-on-3.
That's thanks to the angle of the UMP having to play it close. Flowsick's going to try to bring that fight. Puts him down to 5 HP, finally connects, and they are converging inside this B bomb site. Gusta has the AWP. One tap by Anger, who's looking at the wrong spot, so it's going to be a 3 versus 1. A great start for Winterfox in this gun round. Bomb is going to get planted. Pulse plan situation perfect. Enemy spotted as well at upper B, and Uber will have at this point to fall back and save his M4 for the next round, but they talked about it, Blue, at the desk. They said it's very hard for teams to try to hold this middle side right now. And Flowsick, since yesterday, we've seen how comfortable he is at taking over that middle area, whether it be pushing up on catwalk, coming in from underpass. He has free reign so far, and if this keeps going on in favor of Winterfox's side, thanks to Flowsick's entry/lurking style, they're going to be looking as strong on T side as we did against Obey.
Yeah, enemy has to keep an eye on their backs here, as if you're not cautious, Flowsick, again, he's grown wildly more confident on this team ever since he joined the roster a couple months back, and now he's starting to show more and more of his skill now that he's had some time to congeal with these players and learn how they like to play. He can work around that and show this aggressive playstyle is working out great for him now. So that's going to shut down enemy. And for enemy, they'll be able to get one more buy going here. Might be a little bit limited on utilities. We take a look. Actually, not so much. Still looking pretty good for these guys. However, after this round, pretty much going to be out of cash. And now for Winterfox as well. XP3 picking up the op. So we'll see that action coming in as well in this round.
And that's the difference that we see. With Winterfox, every time they lost a gun round, they had to save when they were playing CT side. Enemy GG, at least they built up enough to go for another buy, and if they win this one, they can reset it back towards Winterfox and regain this lead on the CT sided map of Mirage. Uber, look how close he's playing so far. Looking for that angle through the smoke to see if anybody's going to walk through. This is actually a good spot to play at the beginning, and now Anger actually spots him right away and spams through to take him down.
Nice Anger with a second pickup. Akusta, he'll be able to find the response to it. Shutting down Lex as he tries to jump outside of Palace. Still very cautious of that mid play, but nothing's coming into it this round. Main line now, trying to hide a little bit further back, holding a safe position, doesn't want to lose his own life, as they're already down a man on the side of enemy, and losing another one would be completely detrimental and would almost force the save. More players still trying to work their way in, but there's good smoke coverage on the site from Winterfox. There's Anger finding yet another kill, shuts down Lucky, takes him out of the equation once again. Now Kusta, one of the few left alive here. His main line did manage to find one kill over here towards Anger, but still, they're running out of time, and they're not really making good progress with getting back control of this site. It's just Kusta. There's nothing he can do. He has to fall away from this one and try to save the op. Yeah,
just looking for some exits. He's able to connect onto Desi, and XP3 will try to prevent Kusta from saving that op in case he repeaks. But Kusta is smarter and decides to save his AWP. This is going to be 2 rounds in a row. You're going to see the save coming in from enemy GG. Kusta will be able to save that op. At least he'll have something to work with. But I like how Winterfox used this strategy on the A side, because they didn't really smoke towards CT spawn. They waited to see where the opera was. Kusta was playing towards that staircase. So when they saw him, they actually smoked towards jungle and the stairs to prevent that for him to re-peek with the AWP. But the rest, they just actually brought the fight towards CT spawn by shooting through that molly and taking control of that. So smart to play for Winterfox on where they want to focus the angles and how they want to cover this plant. And then the post positioning was just perfect right after.
And this time, enemy not really going to have all that much. Decent amount of utility, so they may try to get aggressive on mid, and you can see they're setting up for that right now. Winterfox, actually, I'm not really sure if they're going to be ready for this one. They're flashed completely, so this could be great for enemy now as they roll out. But Anger holding strong, and XP3 getting the Colat. Relics and Lucky both going down to him. And just like that, it's a 4v2. Uber fighting out over here by Archer, just outside of Cat on the B bomb site. Good spray down, almost managing to take out Lex, but can't connect the other shots. Lex very, very low, but thankfully he's handled there. Desi shuts him down. And now again, just down to Kusta here for enemy.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Uber, he actually used all of his 24 bullets of the CZ75, so nothing he could do. Stuck at the get right. Kusta is very close. I think he heard the drop of XP3 inside the window. And as that smoke dissipates, he might see the cannon or the barrel of that AWP. Crop walk peek, and XP3 wins it. And it's now going to be tied up 3-3. And like we called it, Winterfox are playing very well on T side, but the struggle that they had was on that CT side. We'll have to see what's going to happen, but if they continue with this momentum, continue to give this free reign for, well, not really free reign from Flowsick anymore. We talked about Anger having to step up as well, and he's getting those entries so easily inside the site. Yeah, Lex is at 0-5. Who cares? He's getting carried by the other two, and the other two are making a job.
I mean, it's not just the other two, it's basically everybody else on the team. XP3 and Desi, to a certain degree, are doing a really good job as well, just holding up their ends of what's needed to bring this team into a victory. So we'll see. Obviously, again, Lex will get his chance to shine in a little bit, but XP3 start this off well once again here. There's Anger finding another one, and they're just ripping him to shreds here back in middle, unfortunately, for enemy. Still not bringing much to the table in this round, and there we go. Finally a kill for Lex coming out there as he takes down Kusta. Just Relics left alive. He was pretty far detached from the fight happening a little bit closer towards middle there, but he is able to peek out towards connector. Very good timing on that one and take down XP3 as he was at very low HP. But taking down the other forward, of course, is going to be the big challenge that probably won't happen, as he has no utility, no armor, and very little actual intel as to where the final four are located.
Yeah, especially spotted now. The crossfire comes through from underpass as well. Picked off by Dizzy, and Winterfox takes the lead. And the difference that we saw, because enemy GG went on a double save there just to build up the economy for this round. But 2 rounds ago, what worked was that flash that went over middle for them to peek out and get those kills. Now they were forced to go on a second save. They actually didn't buy any utilities at all, so they had to go for the body peeks. They focused more on having that peek, wide peeks on catwalk to have the trades through there, but the shots are just connecting for Winterfox right now.
And now as we take a look at where exactly Winterfox are going to proceed to in this round, enemy, of course, back up to a full buy this time. The only thing they're really missing would be an M4 sitting over there unlucky, but they've got a good amount of utility. And ooh, XP3, a little bit over-aggressive there as he goes for the wild peek. Kusta is going to be able to beat him out. Good position being held by him back over towards jungle as he shuts down the XP3 peek towards Palace. But Desi coming in now with that first smoke. Not a whole lot going to be following into that just as of yet, as unfortunately Flowsick, he's been smoked off in connector. He's not really going to be able to find a clear path, and he's looking for something, but now the smoke's fading away. He's actually given away his position a little bit early here too, which could prove problematic. But as you see from the minimap there, everyone else on Winterfox actually rotated away. So they'll be going for a B take here instead.
Yeah, I thought they were going to try to boost in window, but they are going to converge 4 players, making their way up towards upper B. But you still have mainline that's going to be the first one to spot, and Lucky's in a good position just by jail. So they won't get affected by these flashes, really, if they're going to be thrown up. Maybe unlucky to start, but mainline should be able to get this. Here's the molly to try to clear out towards the van. Spots the first one dropping through. Their trade's coming across, but it's going to be the upper hand for Winterfox as mainline drops from the hands of Desi. Bomb now planted for Catwalk. 2 guys converging towards that area. Make that only 1, and the rest are going to stay back towards the van and jail. So great post positioning. Anger is going to get another one, but the trade's coming through. Relix is going to try to retake it with Kusa on this 2 versus 2. And he loses, though, against Desi, who's still on point. Everybody's doing their job. Kusa, last man standing.
Just rolls right out there, too, so they're going to feed them out there. They can pick that right back up. That comes back into their arsenal. And unfortunately, there, too, mainline was probably the biggest issue with trying to hold on to that B-bomb.
Yeah.
So we saw his spray. He has a really good position, but he doesn't catch the first player that runs past the window, so he panics a little bit, jumps down and tries to take up a position just outside, a little bit closer to the van drop down. And unfortunately, his initial spray doesn't really connect as many bullets as he would have hoped, so he goes for the reload where he didn't necessarily have to. That leaves Lucky out to dry, and by the time he's actually like back, ready to peek again, they managed to beat him to the punch and take him down. So that leaves the site wide open, and enemy are just not quick enough on the rotations.
Yeah, and on top of that, they actually did lose XP3 at the beginning of the round, maybe about 15 seconds in from Kusa, so they had the 1-man advantage and just couldn't hold the rest. Let's see what's going to happen right now. It's going to be slow play from Winterfox, but you see that stack on the A site from the counter-terrorist team as they are going on a force pistol / scout buy, playing the angles, and buying as a team at least, so they manage the economy a little bit better for the next round, but they're hoping for this push to come into their crossfires.
And they can hear the action going on in mid, so they know that something's going to be happening. This combined with Desi firing some shots back over here towards T-Ramp, they are able to predict that this is going to be an A push pretty easily, and that's obviously what it's going to be, judging from Winterfox's current positions. Trying to stack on that A site, getting right into the face of the players of Winterfox. So they try to push up the T steps, however, not working out so well for Winterfox here as Uber Akusta picking up some kills. They do bring it down to a 3 versus 1 now. It's also Flowsick is caught completely off guard. XP3 surprises Kusta, takes him back down, but now he's down to a 1 versus 2 at this point, trading it over for the AK. Doesn't want to feed them the op, but Uber is going to be able to handle that, shuts him down. They'll pick up at least 1 free rifle, now 2 as Lucky finds 1. And that'll be a good round from enemy there.
That's all Kusta and Uber. And funny thing is, it was actually Uber with that scout. He got a pick to start things off. Kusta played it close with the CZ. Richard Lewis was talking about it. He's able to rifle, he's able to pistol, he's able to op, he's able to scout. He got a kill with the CZ, picked up an AK, cleared another one inside the A site. It made it a little bit easier for his teammates to actually come back and converge on that 2 versus 1 right after against XP3, and Winterfox gets equal because of that. But at least they built up the economy by winning 5 rounds in a row. But that is the start of where Winterfox start tilting. Ooh. As soon as you start losing against an eco, you'll start seeing them losing rounds.
And that was a great response there from Relix too. He's completely blind when he managed to pick up that kill. Lex, though, quick on the trade, follows him back down through underpass there, and he's able to keep it down to a 4 versus 4, but not watching out for window room. Anger, though, gets the 180 shot onto Uber. Uber should have absolutely had that kill, but he messes it up completely. And now this comes back into the control of Winterfox. Again, they've made that good amount of progress. They got control of middle, and Lex Good patience from him, too. Catches lucky as even he gets a little bit over-aggressive. B-site's wide open now. Enemy are trying to rotate into it, but they might get beaten to this site now. Thankfully, Mainline rotates in just in time, taking down XP3, looking for a couple more.
Wow.
Kusta Mainline picking up 2 additional frags, and Anger's nowhere to be found. He's completely off the site right now. This round has gone from enemy's control to Winterfox's control, and now it's back in enemy's hands.
That is insane. What a play by Mainline to try to get that first kill. First, now he's spotted. As soon as that smoke blooms, this is going to be it. I don't think Anger will be able to win this one. It's a 2 versus 1. He's going to have to go for a trip kill clutch to win this, and he loses straight ahead against Mainline. And we talked about 2 guys stepping up here for Enemy GG. Usually throughout this whole minor, it's been Kusta, it's been Mainline, and they got it done, locking it down inside that B bomb site.
Kusta currently leading the team right now at 10 frags. Mainline along with Relics as well, not far behind. Both of them sitting with 7, so some good jobs being done here with enemy. Winning rounds where, to be honest, Winterfox should have had control, but the problem is that we're seeing the same exact thing from Winterfox as well. Enemy having complete control of situations, but Winterfox is able to turn it back around. I think at the moment, though, this still favors enemy a lot more when you consider just how much weaker Winterfox's CT side appeared to be yesterday. If that is still going to be a problem when we switch sides, then I feel enemy will be able to pull ahead of the pack once we get to that point.
Well, at least Flosig has that control. I think he's going to jump through that window as well. So he's going to go hardcore inside that window side. Force buy coming through for Winterfox. They're dwindling down on the economy. Kusta is able to take down Flosig because he knew he was coming towards that window or connector. Now it's a 3 versus 3. They traded out. XP3 spamming with the AK-47, but the smoke is bad. They were trying to plan it for the A ramp. Kusta takes him down. Now it's Lex, the last man standing. One coming through the smoke, jumping in the face of Kusta. Now a 1 versus 1, but Lucky coming through and saves the day against Lex. And that's going to be now a 6-5 score, and we're going to see Winterfox on a save.
The smokes are becoming a real problem, really, for both teams now. We've seen quite a few screw-ups with smoke positionings.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's causing quite a few errors to be made here. And again, unfortunately, again, this time it goes against Winterfox's favor. And now for the enemy guys, they'll be able to retake control. Kusta's still leaning very heavily. The economy for really both sides is not really in a stable position. Winterfox have obviously been run a little bit too dry here, so they're going to have to just go for an upgraded pistol round. But for enemy, we can even see we've got a couple weird things still coming into the mix here. Relics really can't afford all that much utility, and Uber is going to take this round with a P90 just to keep it safe.
Wow. That's surprising, actually, for Kusta not hitting his shots. At least Uber is there, like you said, with the P90. He's going to mow him down and just shred him through with the no armor pistol buy coming through from Winterfox. Now a 3 versus 2. Lex is going to get spotted and picked off. And now Anger, can he get his 1 deeks? Nope.
Aim punch. Unfortunately, he's afflicted by that a little bit too much, so he's going to end up getting taken down there. And enemy keep their lead going, only losing 2 players along the way, which is not going to be that bad when you consider what enemy brought into the picture there too. But they were still sitting at an average of about $2,000 per player, so heading into this round, we're still going to see full utility coming in with the AKs. No op, unfortunately, on XP3, but for quite a few rounds now, we unfortunately haven't been seeing much of XP3, so this makes a little bit more sense when you consider that they might just not want to waste the money on it when he's not feeling quite up to par.
Well, he had it in when they started winning those rounds, getting those 3 rounds in a row, and then he started getting picked off against Ecos. The first round where it was actually an op versus op, he lost it against actually the second time he lost it against Kusta, opping from the jungle into the palace area. So now they're just going to go full AKs, of course, because of the economy is still very low. Mainline going to try the flank from under at the underpass, gets the double and drops the bomb carrier at the same time. Desi took a little bit of time to react there with that guy that he spotted right inside the site. So that was Kusta. It's a 4 versus 2, and XP3 has to get something done on his lurk roll at mid.
That might have just caused them the round there too, with Desi not being able to line up that frag in time, because now they have no openings on this A bomb site as of yet. XP3 finds this kill on the main line, but still he has to find his way through connector, and that's a big screw up there. Relics pushes right through. Desi caught weapon switching, so XP3 has control of the bomb. He could technically just sneak his way over towards the B bomb site and find the plant, but of course that would rely on him knowing that it's going to be wide open, which I don't think he does at this point.
And that's a tick that a lot of players have. As soon as they get a kill, they go for the weapon switch and come back. I don't know why, because he's still a lot of bullets to work with, and you're moving into a site unknown. But at least XP3, 35 seconds left on the clock. He's about to come head-to-head against Kusta. No, he's going to try to walk through the jungle. So he might be able to flank across here and get the kill on to Relics inside the site if Kusta still stays inside this window.
This could be good for XP3 here, but the problem is he has to win the battle versus Relics. But yeah, he's been knocked out now, so they're going to rotate back in, and he's going to be boxed out in a second here. And Relics, as I was about to say too, Relics has actually been very on point with this 1v1 so far in this matchup, so that's not too surprising to see him closing that out without really any assistance from his teammates.
The economy is okay, though, for Winterfox to go for a force buy. Maybe a Galil for one of the players. Indeed, it's going to be a Desi. Make that 2 Galils. They got smokes to execute if they want to try to work towards this A bomb site. And if you're looking at it though from the mini-map, they're trying to make their way to take control of middle first. But it could be fakes after fakes. They still have a lot of time to work with, especially with the round timer that was added recently here from the last update. But Anger, he's been opening his backpack to try to get these entries. He's going to have to keep going. They are relying on him a lot. Meanwhile, for Enemy, they went for 2 aggressive pushes, got a lot of information by getting the leg shot onto XP3 and including spawning the bomb carrier. And look at that angle. He's going to see it again. Oh, misses the shot by just a pixel. But I think he spotted that bomb carrier, so you'll see them not really rotate as of yet, but you can see from that minimap, that #1 player pushing down the A ramp. So Relix is going to come for a slow flank and at the same time get a lot of information so the rest of the CTs could actually hold up towards B and mid.
They still think it's going to be coming out of the apartments. So look, the
Oh, this is
rotations are not
crazy.
corresponding. This is going to be absolutely insane for Winterfox now. They can just walk right into this A bomb site. They need to be quick about it, though, because Enemy are catching on and they're rotating it. But there's Desi picking up the first kill now for main line. The question is, are they going to know his Relic sitting back here? And no, they're not initially picking up 1 kill. We do see him eventually going down there as Anger is able to take him down. But Uber also found another trade for it. He shut down XP3, keeping it down to a 2 versus 3. Uber messing up hugely on the spray there. Anger finding yet another kill, takes down Uber. And now it's just Kustin 1 versus 3, and he hasn't even fully rotated yet. He's just now getting himself inside of window room. I don't even know if he's going to attempt this. Might just look for 1 kill, and if he can't find it, again, he's going to have to fall back and save the op.
Thankfully, the bomb has just planted. If he gets lucky and Winterfox plays it stupidly and go for these 1 versus 1 peaks again, then Kusta is going to be able to just fully go for it. He's going to make some noise, though, dropping towards Sandwich. He has come in and now trying to go for the quick scope, but Lex wins it. Great play by Winterfox, and a little bit unfortunate for Enemy of how they tried to converge around and go for the flanks, because you had 1 guy push towards T spawn, you had 1 guy rotate back towards window, but they left connector fully open. And after that initial flashes and smokes being thrown by Winterfox inside B, they sold the fake, they ran up connector, and they caught everybody off guard. But how many times has Anger went for the jump 180 drop in the headshot right after? Lex did the same thing. So Winterfox has lady luck on their side today too in terms of these 1 versus 1 fights.
Anger specifically, his aim has been absolutely on point. That last round, though, unfortunately, that had to be a mistake. That had to be a mistaken call of the players sitting on the B bomb site. Is for whatever reason, even after that molly was tossed and they didn't see anybody proceeding through, there was still no idea that they would have fallen back, or like even tried to go up T ramp or whatever. There was still no idea that they could have gone back towards middle through underpass and then try to play it through connector. As everybody's rotating, they completely overestimated their control over the movement of Winterfox there, and that really ended up killing them towards the end of it, as they left themselves completely wide open. A 1 versus 1 on the site ended up going towards the way of Winterfox, and then from that point they took full control.
Lots of actually information spotted right now from Kusta as he moved his way all the way up towards mid ramp with the AWP, saw nothing. So they're going to guess towards an A push or a B push. So now you see that stack. 3 guys inside the A site, 2 guys very close to the upper B halls, and now better call for Winterfox and better gamble. They went for the B side push, or actually it could be some more fakes once again. Let's see what happens.
No, they're just going to go directly into it this time, but a lot of smoke coverage there. We've got 4 smokes sitting onto the site here. Lucky main line, and now Kusta rotating back in, but Kusta is unrestricted at this point. He can see everything out of that window angle. Desi gets the trade, shuts down the opper from the side of Enemy here. Now it's down to a 4 versus 4. Lucky picking up the op, but he can't do anything with it. Still has the pistol out. Flowsick, main line actually still alive on the van, but he's going to be blind as a bat, so Desi takes him back down. Lex finding yet another one. Relix is still alive in this one, but at 5 HP, and now down to a 1 versus 2. There's not a whole lot that he's going to be able to do to turn this round back into his team's favor. Might just have to fall away from this one or walk into the site, try to find at least 1 trade, and then eventually end up going down. Yeah,
and they're going to plan it at default just to be safe, and Lex goes for the white peak. 5 HP, nothing much you could do right after that. So we end the first half 8-7 in favor of Enemy GG. But looking at this Mirage T sign of Winterfox, still very strong. I mean, they won 5 rounds in a row, coming in back after losing quite a lot against Enemy to start things off. And at some point, all the economy that they built at the beginning of the half was lost by losing those 3 rounds in a row. Then they were forced on a save. I think at this point, it's like, oh my god, we have to bring the momentum back. And these are the guys, the type of guys that actually get shook up actually quite easily, speaking about Winterfox. Thankfully for them, they're able to maintain their composure, but also thanks to the way that Anger has been playing this half so far. He's lights out.
I think the biggest thing that Enemy should look to be abusing here on the second half is going to be the B site, because that was probably the weakest point for Winterfox in their match versus Obey yesterday. Anger is normally the go-to guy to defend the apartments push, and unfortunately he did not seem as on yesterday in that match. However, something has changed since then, and that was he stepped up big time in that dust, and that seems to have carried over into today's performance. So this point might not be as strong, and their CT side could improve immensely coming into this match today as well. Remember from Obeya today, they didn't really push the A site all that often, and the few times they did, Lex, who's normally the main defender of that site, still seemed to be holding it fairly well. So if they try to go towards the A site, and Lex's performance is still going to look to be good holding onto that A site, especially in areas like underneath the platform and whatnot, then it's still going to be a little bit rough, and we actually could end up seeing Winterfox run away with the CT side. But that all depends if things have carried over and their communication is still going to be on point, which was another problem from yesterday's match.
Yeah, and I think if we're looking at Winterfox, the way they played their CT side as well, they played it against Obey, where we said a lot of teams don't really control middle that well, but they work it well in terms of communications to go for trades. We talked about it and we analyzed it a little bit yesterday too when they were playing against Obey. When they had a guy towards catwalk, if he died, the guy would peek towards connector. If he died towards connector, we had a guy at window that was going to peek again. So they do have some sort of mid control going on right now. It just depends to see what has changed in terms of their CT side to maybe tweak it up a bit to make it a little bit better against enemy GG. But on enemy GG side, if they were spectating the way that Winterfox have played, maybe they change their strategy around to not focus that much on middle as well and try to focus more towards these B pushes and these B rushes that you're talking about here, Blue.
I'll be interested to see as well if we see more of the op-on-op duels towards middle. We didn't really see a whole lot of them first half, but XP3 tends to play a little bit more straightforward inside of that window area when he can get the op into his hands on the CT side. So especially if we see the members of enemy start to utilize middle and Kusta leading the charge on that one too, we could see some very interesting duels, so look forward to that in the second half, as it is getting started right now, guys. For those of you just joining us, this is Enemy GG versus Winterfox. Enemy leading at the moment, but just barely by one round at an 8-7 scoreline.
And this is the first map in the best out of 3 for the CSGO America's Minor Championship. Winner moves on to the grand finals to face off between Optic Gaming versus Splice, happening later on this afternoon. Desi's going to get picked off to start things off. It's going to be a 1-1 trade, actually, to start the round, but enemy have converged inside the side. They have gone to bomb plant as well. Pulsing not connecting his shots. And now XP3 by the jungle side looking for some backup, but Anger cannot support him. Kusa gets a double, so that's 2 kills for Kusa, 1 for Relics, 1 for Uber, and 1 for Lucky to win the pistol round for enemy GG.
We had some like pistol round frustration there coming out from the members of Winterfox because they just like couldn't connect any shots with their USP. So you saw there, especially with the last person we had a viewpoint on, I think it was Flowsick, where he's just sitting there and he's like firing away, emptying the entire clip out of his USP. He's like, come on, let me get at least one and then I can follow it. But the problem is he sits there for so long and then eventually the option to actually fall back and get himself into a safe cover point is completely gone as enemy just push him and take him down. We saw that like 2 or 3 times on Winterfox members, and ultimately that's what shut them down. Their aim just was not on point. So we will see them go for another little bit of an upgrade this time. Not really going to be a force, but we do see some upgraded pistols coming into the picture, along with some P250s on the rest. Well,
at least they were able to get the kill onto mainline. Trying to push up. Nice one onto Kusa as well. So that is 2 down for enemy GG as they're trying to move up here towards the A-ramp and Palace. But the bomb is still so far behind at T-Spawn. Has to move back to converge. I don't think they expected these crossfire or these Deagles to just hit. But Relic still clearing out this Palace side. Gets 2 kills now. The first one on XP3 to start things out. Now Lex spotted, looking for some backup as well. And the rotations coming through from Winterfox at the same time from the CT spawn.
Flowsick holding things down. He's got that rifle. He's going to try to prevent these members of getting access on the site. No armor in his arsenal, though, so he's going to get shut down pretty easily there by Uber. And last member, Anger, again, just down to a P250, so not much he can do to hold it, but some very good damage being done economically, at least here by Winterfox, taking down 3 to 5 of the players.
Yeah, but I think thankfully for enemy GG's side, the guns that they lost were just some machine guns. So they 2 AKs that they bought at the beginning of the round were kept for the team. So they're fine to go for drops and go for full AKs this round here. Putting Winterfox on another save, of course, as they went for the Deagle and armor for a few guys at that round. But trade's still coming through towards this A site. Desi caught now under this balcony. He's trying to win this one against Kusta, but cannot connect. And they're just going to get shredded and moved inside this A site. Might be a touchdown nade. That's not going to happen, actually. And it's just an easy round for enemy GG. I think it was just all 1 versus 1s. No crossfire set up for Winterfox as well. Now they have to see if they could get this. Probably a glass cannon for XP3. No, it's going to be an op small armor.
Something to call out here, and this is something that I've noticed more and more teams are starting to do more recently, but in that last round, they noticed that the resistance from Winterfox was a little bit better than they were expecting, so they don't actually go all 5 players in the rebuy. One player just buys up a Tech 9, so that if one of the players with the rifles goes down, he could just pick that back up, and it's like they don't even really lose anything.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what ended up happening. They lost one of their players, I think it was Kusta, but then the other player with the Tech 9 was just able to pick up that rifle, keep himself alive, and they don't even really lose any expensive guns. So that's good for the overall longevity of enemy's economy here. It should be good to build things up here if they're able to take this first gun round.
So XP3 does have the AWP, trying to figure out where he was playing it first. He was playing towards that window as he moves back towards the jungle. Kusa's waiting for him. Gets the first, gets the second to clear out the A side just like that again, as Lex cannot hold it at the mid side. So Desi at the jungle will be forced to fall back with anger, as that was a clean execution. Not really execution, it just came down to Kusta opping 2 guys. They didn't really need to do anything more or pushes a team from there.
Yesterday it was Anger having trouble holding the sights. Now it appears it may be Lex that's starting to show some signs here of his own struggles. However, actually, he's currently leading the team in frag, so we'll have to see how that develops a little bit farther on in the half, as he's actually been a fairly consistent player. And you remember, too, it was like 3 or 4 rounds in, he didn't have any frags as of yet, so he's actually come back in quite a large margin to be leading the team at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. At 15 and 15, Anger not able to save his AK-47, so it's going to have to be Desi just behind the jail side, gets the first, but then they prevent them from getting anything salvaged, so they're going to be forced on a possibly deagle buy, as we know Winterfox for. But now we're going to look for this tactical pause from XP3 that's being called. I mean, they lost the pistol quite badly, actually, against enemy GG, and from then they're just getting shredded, but I don't know if the call is right for this pause right now. 12-7, you still have a lot of rounds to work with. You still have maybe 2 rounds in terms of that you could quote-unquote lose or throw. So, but this is just default. You lose the pistol, you lose 3 rounds in a row, and then that's it. The first round doesn't pay off. It's just basic CSGO.
I see this a lot here, this pause being taken, not necessarily like at this time point. I agree with you in that it is very weird that this is happening like right after the standard procedure of rounds.
Yeah.
Like this definitely could be done like 2 or 3 rounds later, but at least the main thing that points out to me is that this is being done on the eco. Like they cannot force here. They do not have enough money to be able to go for a force. So what the oddest thing about this to me is that this is going to happen. They're not even going to get to utilize whatever they're discussing now until the next round. And there's some good things about this, in that you can sort of sort out any problems that these players have with the strat before you actually get into that round. But the other problem with this is you can also you can also have some second thoughts about it. You can begin to doubt yourselves about what the strategy is, and that can cause more problems than it solves.
We'll see if Winterfox will have to try to go from some sort of aggressive push. So far, as we've seen this second half unravel, we actually have not seen enemy GG take control of that middle too much. Whenever they had XP3 with the op, he was posted there at the window side, default spot for an All-Pro as well to look up towards that mid, but spotted nothing for a long time. When he went on a rotation, finally a lurker came through and picked him off. But the rest of the action really came down and focused on getting those entries from the A ramp and from Palace side for enemy GG. I'm wondering if the pistol, if they're going to go for a full save right now, is just to try to stack towards this A site. We'll see what's going to happen as we're resuming this this second half. And it's going to be a lot of them from enemy GG pushing up towards upper B, while they have the stack coming in towards actually mid and B instead. So actually they're looking good so far, but again, with no armor, they could just get shredded down.
If they were taking notes on yesterday too, they also could be trying to do some of the similar things that Obey were doing on their T side and trying to improve upon that. In that, if you remember, Obey really didn't play towards middle all that much either. And it still worked out for them in quite a few rounds once they were able to actually find their way into the site. Winterfox, for a lot of the rounds, didn't do too great of a job with their retake, so that could be what enemy are trying to abuse here. And there we go. They're just taking it nice and slow, very, very cautiously pushing forward, and they're picking up kills left and right because of this one. So at least in this run, of course, it'd be very easy to execute something like that, as Winterfox are going to be on the eco. It's just down to Lex now with the deagle, and everyone else on enemy hunting him down.
Yeah, I think this is the problem. When you're going with pistol buys and you're going with no armor at the same time, I don't think you should play an angle where you're trying to get the first peek in those one-shots. A lot of them are focusing a lot on these 1Ds, these P250s, these instant headshots as soon as somebody wide peeks or goes for a shoulder peek, and it just does not work when you're playing no armor pistols. And especially if you're going for stacks, play the angles, let them come towards you, and then you just wreck them from there. You get the advantage by the surprise, pick up the rifle left behind, and try to get those kills after.
I think a lot of that is still Pitt's influence coming in on this team, because if you remember from quite a few months ago, he was one of the members that joined up on this team when they were actually still known as Luminosity at the time.
Yeah.
And when I'm trying to remember exactly, I think they had NAF on this team at that time as well. So he was sort of showing that this could actually work. But you have to remember that Pitt is like a much more competent player with the deagle and a much more consistent player with that as well.
Basically better.
Yeah, if you want to put it that way. so he showed a lot more promise with the deagle sort of strat, but it kind of rubbed off on the rest of his teammates, and that's why we see them do that sort of riskier strategy without the armor so much more often here.
Yeah, and it connects from time to time for Winterfox, but it's never really 100% as well. So Anyways, we're going to have this double op set up here, and they already lose one at the beginning of the round. And Kusa again getting these entries with the AWP, but they're lit right now, moving inside this A bomb site. Desi pushing through the smoke, getting one fully flash on the second enemy is Skylar. And Relics falls down from the hands of Desi as well, but Kusa going for a triple kill. Will have to go for an ace clutch. 1 minute left on the clock as he's set up right now inside the site, waiting for this peek to come through from Connector or CP spawn. And he looks at it at the wrong angle, and Flow6 saves the day right now for Winterfox.
It's getting a little bit worried there. That was starting to look like that one versus two we saw from DSR yesterday, where there's two players from Winterfox are sitting off the site. Please don't take the 1 versus 1, guys. Please don't take the 1 versus 1. Let's just go finish him off. Nice and easy. He's not an actual raid boss. You don't have to take him on. You should take him on both. You should take him on, apologies, 2 at a time. But thankfully they handled that quite nicely. However, again, the problem, which has been a big issue here for Winterfox this entire tournament and the entire existence of this team's history, is their economy. Still very unstable, and it's at a point now where most of these players really can't even get a full utility stack going, and one of them, Lex, has had to go for a Mag 7 investment. Now, sometimes you see players when they can afford rifles, they go for the Mag 7 anyway, just to be able to hold a good position with the Mag and just pick up some easy kills. This is not one of those times. He just cannot afford a rifle confidently enough, so he's going to go for the Mag buy.
Now, interesting thing for Enemy GG, they're actually looking for this middle control. They have managed to take it successfully, forcing Winterfox to fall back and play it in different angles. And XP3 so far has been smoked, has been flashed, cannot connect with the AWP. Trades are coming through, and it's going to be Flow6 taking down Uber. Then Lex with that Mag 7 at the A ramp, but it's quickly traded back by Kusta at the middle area. So they still have a lot of area to work with for Enemy GG. Now it's going to be Winterfox. Are they going to play that same mistake to play that peek and try to get some information and just get unloaded a lot of bullets from the middle side? It's not going to be that case. They're going to hold it passively, and it's going to be Enemy GG Lucky who's going to try to search for that information by lurking up Connector.
They are to a certain degree aware of what was going on in Connector there, that Lucky's been hanging out here. Lex is keeping his eyes on that right now, watching out for a push through it. However, the big realization is going to have to come that now the other two from Enemy have started to rotate a little bit closer towards the apartments. They're now pushing into it, and they're going to go for the take on the B side instead. They might be held back by a few extra seconds here by this smoke, but that's starting to go away right about now. So they should be able to just waltz right in here.
They
and
have to commit to it.
Yeah, Anger's going to be the main force in the way here now, but he's going to throw that molly. Unfortunately, he's caught in the open when it happens, so he's got to fall back, and he's down at 21 HP. Re-peaks it for some reason, so that's an easy kill for mainline to pick up. But XP3 coming in, shutting down one, but then there's Lucky and Connector. They seem to have forgotten about that, so he's still alive here. It's just XP3 now, and he's boxed in at this point. At least he thinks he is. So he's got to be very, very careful about how he approaches this 1 versus 2, because now he's just going to roll right out onto the site. Lucky actually taking his time to get in, but not realizing the main line sitting over there by bench is ultimately going to be his downfall. That shuts him down and gives yet another round here to Enemy, as they're just 2 more away from closing out the first map.
That was an extremely close call there for Enemy GG. With the remaining seconds that they had left, I think it was 14 seconds left when they committed into the site, everything had to be on point, everything had to work in terms of them executing inside the site with the 2 guys, and also with Lucky flanking from the back. He was able to get 1 kill, XP3 got an op kill, but imagine if XP3 actually got the kill onto the bomb carrier instead. That would have been game over and Winterfox's win. On this save, they're just going to try to push 3 guys inside the palace, but they're getting wrecked. Lex is about to get picked off. At least manages to take 1 before he falls, and Flow6 trading it back.
Stanger looks alive now. Should be able to handle him pretty easily. That's Uber shutting him down with the P90. And there we go. Now Enemy, they'll be sitting on match point. Winterfox, again, the big problems. Can't even manage their economy, let alone even pick up really any rounds at all in this half. We've only seen 1 being picked up by these guys out of a possible almost like 9 or 10 now that's been played here in the second half. So probably going to be 10 at the end of it. But looking at the buys here from Winterfox, they're able to get rifles for themselves. But in terms of utility, we don't have anything beyond flashbangs and smokes, and they only have 2 smokes for the entire team.
Yeah, and all of them are super low in terms of the economy. 3 of them bottled all the way down to 0, so they could manage to maybe lose 1 player at the maximum. They could go for a drop on the round after, which would only be possibly a FAMAS. As at least it starts well as they get the dink onto main lane down to 60. So they had a 3-man aggressive push up at mid side and only got that information at the entrance of B. So the rest of the guys holding inside this B side. Anger's going to hear the first one drop inside Van. It's going to be Lucky. Oh, he spots him and gives his own position away. This is going to be huge right now for Enemy GG to overtake B.
Flosick, though, picking up the first kill there, but then Desi peeking back out. Anger not available to support at that time. It's all Flosick right now, finding these kills for Winterfox. He's up to 3 for himself, but he's kept his team in the lead purely through this. The other members of enemy now trying to work their way in, and there's Kusta picking up a good shot on XP3, trying to connect the second one, but Lex is going to shut him down. Now it's just Relics at half his HP, sitting behind the van. Nowhere to run, but he's got a lot of utility to use, so he's got to try to get himself outside of this. Not just that, too, but the bomb is sitting back up on top. So in all honesty, he might just want to go for it, finding that.
Oh my
what?
God.
Oh no! Relics finds the kill, and then unfortunately that final player from Winterfox just walks into the flames to end the map.
Okay, so it was a 2 versus 1. He's inside the van area. He gives away his position. He threw a molly, and then he threw a flash. So they knew exactly where he was at. But from then on, you saw that white peak coming through instead of them just setting up. It's like, it's towards the van. We have the bomb down. He has to commit and come towards us. They saw that the bomb dropped on the top of that platform there. And because Flosick actually ran into that flame, he was probably flashed from that flash that was thrown from the remaining member there of enemy GG inside that corner. That is...
It's very unfortunate for Flosick.
I have no idea how that happened. I mean, it's another mistake of enemy there where they're at a situation where they have a 1-man advantage. Flosick did whatever he could. I mean, he got a 3K to hold inside that B bomb site, but no support coming out right after from his teammates.
Ultimately, though, keep in mind that the current scoreline was at like 15-7, would have been 15-8. You're still looking at like 6 or 7 rounds in a row that Winterfox need to win just to tie that up and take it into OT.
That's true.
So in my opinion, like once the game gets to that point, it's already too far gone. So even if Winterfox had managed to pick up that round, it would have just been delaying the inevitable. And I don't really think they still would have won that match.
Because they've lost too many players to inside that hold inside B as well, because they lost minimum 3. It could have maybe gone down to a 1 versus 1. Flosick only had 3 HP remaining. Whether it be a 1 versus 1 remaining, all of them would only had 3K across the board right after that. 3.2 or 3.5 I think on CT side, and that's not enough to go for a full buy to see what's going to happen for the rest of the half and the rest of this game. Unfortunately though, it's going to be enemy GG that steps it up and wins this first map against Winterfox's map choice. But we're going to go into map number 2 very soon. But before we get into that, let's break it down further with the gentleman at the desk.
And he uses that term, gentlemen, loosely, I think. Again, as Van Silly said, Winterfox's map choice. And again, they do not win it. And they don't do so well on that second side at all.
He's talking about gentlemen. There's nothing gentle about what enemy just did to Winterfox, right?
Yeah, we pretty much, I mean, props to us, because we nailed it this morning. You know,
Good,
pretty decent T-side at a Winterfox.
Wasn't there some dude who said they're going to get a map or something?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Bald
There's
dude.
still a map
But
left.
he didn't call which
There's
map.
still a map left.
Ain't
He
happening.
didn't call which map.
Never happening.
Yeah.
Listen, Kusta, man. Kusta showed up. It's Kusta time. And, I mean, even his op work at a palace on their terrace side was incredible.
Yeah.
Getting entries, picking up XP3 from far away, doing things really, really smart, like just holding that angle and waiting for Winterfox players to rotate back from either the window room, from connector, and just picking them off as they were just leisurely, you know, going for a stroll in the middle of the map. No big deal. But even if they don't win those rounds, just him getting those like 2 kills just kept whittling down the economy. That, you know, they had that timeout. They brought out, or Winterfox did, and they brought out a double op setup, and they got enough kills to where they only had 1 op able to be retained into the next round. So while they wanted to switch into double op, they just couldn't retain it for more than 1 round. So it was really well done from enemy. Even when they encountered some troubles, they stuck with it and they just ground out the economy.
I mean, here's the problem that Winterfox have on the CT, right? So you give away that first frag, it's typically Kusta making it. You give that away, and then they just over-rotated like every time. Yeah. It was ridiculous. They were so panicky. They had no confidence in their own teammates, and they were just over-rotating. And what was really good, there was 2 people that really stood out for me this game, and obviously Kusta's, you can just wax lyrical about him all day, but let's give credit to the other players. So mainline, right, big time, on that B side, just doing work, you know, every time they were coming as T, Winterfox, he was there to wreck them. And then on his T side was getting these wonderful sort of intuitive positions where he could catch rotators. And Lucky as well, I got to say. I thought Lucky had some great flanks. There was just times when Winterfox were over-rotating, he just intuitively read that game and was in the right place to just shut off those over-rotates that might have shut down a push. So it was just an exemplary performance. Winterfox need to go back to the drawing board on the CTO Mirage. They need to start banning that map out. It's crazy. In the qualifiers, it was so good. This boot camp seems to have undone all the good work they do. I do not play Mirage ever again. That's it. That's my advice.
Both teams actually, it was a little worrisome because both teams CTs looked, even enemy CT side looked, I mean, they got 8 rounds. but some of the plays that were made, it just seemed like individually players were very easily out of position. Players were very easily wandering off on their own. You saw, like in the mid-round, sometimes players would just kind of walk out mid just to clear it, and they'd be looking the complete wrong direction and get picked off. So both teams really struggled on that defensive side. They just couldn't seem to find some of the right plays to make at times.
Yeah, and you know, again, we said Winterfox needed some individuals to step up. Absent, right? I mean, who was it? You know, it was just...
It's a good question.
I mean, I thought Lex maybe had some like nice moments again, but if you're relying on Lex, you got real problems. Real problems, baby.
All right, well, so Winterfox is in the hole. They're down 0-1. The next map will be Overpass. So, again, it is a best of 3. They're not going home yet. And, again, no matter what, they have at least secured themselves an invite for the last chance online qualifier that will happen between now and next month's offline qualifier here for the major. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to start talking a little about Overpass and a little bit more about these two teams.
Join us on April 1st through the 3rd at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Watch the best teams in Counter-Strike Global Offensive go head-to-head for a guaranteed prize pool of $250,000.
He could be able to get this. Got the ace clutch! Shazam!
Teams like Fnatic, Envious, Virtus Pro, and many more will be there. Be sure to check out the VIP package for the ultimate esports experience. Buy your tickets now at mlg.tv/csmajor.